Hey, what is up, mortals? Tim here, and before we get into this lovely video, there are a few things I would like to say. First off, a quick thank you to our incredible supporters on Patreon. The full list will be at the end of the video. If you'd like to support us and our content, please instant transmission over there and check it out. Also, if you didn't know, only 25% of you guys are subscribed to us, so please, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. Now, with all that out of the way, let's take a deep dive into the video. In today's deep dive, we will be exploring the world of Dragon Ball, specifically Dragon Ball Z, and its sacred technique known as Fusion. This will contain significant spoilers for the entirety of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, as well as the movies and the games, so you've been warned. Anyways, let's dive headfirst into this thing. Fusion is one of the biggest and most popular concepts ever brought into the Dragon Ball world by series creator Akira Toriyama, besides Super Saiyan and instant transmission, of course. Fans for years have adored the fusion idea, and it's one of the most talked about and complex concepts in the entire fandom. There are 3 significant variations of fusion that we are most informed about, however, and those fusions are fusion via the Morons way, the Potara earrings fusion that the gods and Kaioshin first introduced, and the Namekian fusion that Piccolo did with Nail during the Frieza saga. For the concept of fusion to make better sense, we'll have to go through each fusion in chronological order, which would mean that the Namekian fusion would come first. So with that out of the way, let's get going. First introduced in Chapter 295, which would correspond with Episode 77 of Dragon Ball Z, the Namekian Fusion, or really Namekian Assimilation, as it was called in Japan, is a permanent form of fusion in which they can absorb each other completely, with one of the fusers serving as a base for the fusion, and the other catalyzing their memories, thought pattern, powers, knowledge, and spirit. The host's natural looks will remain unchanged and untouched, unlike the other types of fusions. Also, their personality will be from the more dominant of the two. This fusion would first be talked about by a dying Nail, who was recently defeated by a first form Frieza. Also, the host of the Namekian assimilation will experience an enormous power boost. But unlike the other fusions, the people who are fusing together don't need to have similar power levels to be able to fuse. However, the Frieza arc isn't the only time we would see this type of fusion. We would also see this type of melding in the Cell arc, in which Kami and Piccolo fuse together to protect the world from the androids. And now that we're done with that fusion, let's dive into the Morons fusion dance. Before we get back into the dive, I would like to say that we've got a third channel called Anime Theory. Anime Theory mainly focuses on a large variety of mind-boggling anime theories. Now, in case you guys didn't know, we are a secondary channel to our main channel, We the Celestials. We the Celestials is full of fun what-if stories. If you have the sugar tooth for great storytelling, please give that channel a visit as well. If you are interested in the content we share with all the channels, make sure you click the icon in the top right corner, or check the description below for a link to the channel. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive back on in. The Morons Fusion, aka the Fusion Dance, is a 3-step dance performed by 2 characters of equal power, with the objective being to create a new, more powerful entity. This is usually the first type of fusion that comes to mind when people think about the entire concept of fusion. To do this particular fusion, each character must stand 6 paces from each other, side to side. They hold their arms out, so each other's arms point away from their partner, palms open and facing forwards. While saying "Phew," each person shuffles their feet sideways towards their partner. Both people must take precisely 3 steps at this time. While doing so, each person swings both arms over their heads, so each of the 2 sets of arms points to their partners. Then, while saying Jun, each person swings their arms across their body, turning them so their palms face the floor and they close their fists. At the same time, they must bring the outer leg up so it is at a right angle, with their shin facing their partner and their foot level with their knee. Finally, each person shouts "Ha!" and leans their torso over so it is slanted towards their partner. Then both arms are brought up with their index fingers pointing out. They must then fully extend their outer legs, and at this point, each person's fingers should touch their partner's fingers. Now, the series of movements that lead up to the "Ha" is essential for syncing the two people up and concentrating their minds. Should both characters do this exactly right, the fusion will be successful. And even though this type has very complex demands, this type of fusion only lasts for 30 minutes. And once the time expires, the two that participated in the dance will become unmerged, and must wait an additional 60 minutes before they can fuse again. There are drawbacks, however, for if the dance is done incorrectly, they will become a failed fusion, in which the fusion is either too weak or not strong enough. An example of a failed fusion would be Veku, a failed fusion of Goku and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z Fusions Reborn. Check that movie out if you didn't see it, by the way. It's excellent. It should be noted that fusion characters are usually dressed in a particular type of way. A dark-colored vest lined with light-colored pants. And according to the Dragon Ball databooks, the fusion's clothes are the native outfit of the Morons on planet Metamor. And even though this type of fusion is compelling, the strain on the body can cut down the 30-minute time limit, which we see with Gotenks and Gogeta. The first time that we see the fusion in the anime is episode 251 by Gotenks when he fought Boo, in which it showed you that this type of fusion has a ridiculous power boost, and that this version is probably a 30 times multiplier. Now, with this type of fusion out of the way, let's move on to the final and most potent fusion technique in the entire series, the Potara fusion. Potara fusion is the most potent form of fusion in the entire franchise. First shown in Chapter 501 of the Dragon Ball Z manga, the Potara earrings fusion is a fusion in which two people, mortal or divine, fuse using said earrings. This fusion technique is a little more straightforward than the fusion dance, and it lasts for a much longer time period. While the fusion dance results in a 30-minute fusion, the Potara earrings fusion lasts for about 1 hour, but the Potara earrings didn't always last 60 minutes though. Before the retcon, it lasted forever, but now Akira Toriyama changed it to bring 1 hour to mortals and forever with gods. Now there have been some exceptions to this rule, like Super Saiyan Blue Vegito during the Goku Black arc, on account of being way too powerful. Not only does the Potara earrings fusion last longer, but it also makes the users way more durable than the fusion dance users as well. And unlike the fusion dance, it doesn't require the users to have equal power levels. Furthermore, the Potara earrings fusion has an entirely different name from its fusion dance counterpart. For example, while the result of the fusion dance's name is Gogeta, the Potara earrings result name is Vegito. Also, unlike Metamoran's fusion, the Potara fusion merges their clothes instead of making them disappear completely. Potara fusion also has an insane power boost. It made Goku and Vegeta so powerful that they were able to completely overpower Super Boo, who had the power of Gohan, Piccolo, and several of the other Z fighters. But the fusion did have its limit. Once Vegeta was absorbed by Super Boo, they defused, which could mean that the Kaioshin magic couldn't withstand the atmosphere of Boo. But that's just a theory. Before Beerus and Whis were introduced, Vegito was, in fact, the most potent Dragon Ball character. And you can't ignore the power boost of the Potara earrings either. The Kai's magic inside of them made the power boost of the fusion even more godly than the fusion dance ever could. And the way Vegito was manhandled proves that the two fusion techniques are nowhere near equal in power. Potara fusion is superior in strength, especially if it's someone as unique as Goku and Vegeta. Well, thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now there's a few more things I'd like to get out of the way before the video ends. First off, I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, I'd like to thank our $5 plus Patreon supporters for helping us fund these videos. Finally, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to congratulate the writer for this video, as well as the editor for this video. Their details will be in the description below. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or you're just interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up the head of one of those departments. We're always looking for members to join us. So that's it for today's video. So thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit that like button if you like the video. Until next time, peace out, mortals. Have an amazing day.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire.